Good afternoon. My name is Audrey Eisenberg, and I serve as one of the pastors here at Inland Hills Church, and we are grateful and honored to be able to host this celebration of life today. On behalf of the Sorenson family, I want to thank you for being here this afternoon to celebrate the life of Michael Sorenson. It is difficult to lose someone far too young and far too soon. So we know that this time is emotional and hard. At the same time, Michael had a faith in Jesus Christ that came with a promise. His faith means that he's begun eternity in heaven. That's comforting to know, but it doesn't mean that grieving his death will be easy. Those of us who are Christians understand the paradox of this type of service. We can be profoundly sad for losing someone special, while also grateful in the knowledge that Michael is with Jesus. We can struggle with the thought of life without Michael, and yet rest in God's grace and his love. There may be some tears and times today that we may smile or laugh, and both are appropriate and needed. In fact, the family wants this to be a time to celebrate Michael and all that he meant to each of us. I pray that this time will be a helpful time in your grief journey and that you experience God's peace, his comfort, and strength for the days ahead. The family picked out some scriptures that I'd like to read as we begin our service this afternoon. First, from Isaiah chapter 40 in verse 28. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. And in Hebrews, we read this other comforting scripture, Hebrews 13:5. Be content with what you have, because God has said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. These verses remind us that God's care for us is forever, and that he will strengthen us even when we face difficult circumstances like Michael's passing. Here are just two more brief verses of comfort, reminding us that Michael's earthly death is the beginning of his eternal life. The first is from the Gospel of John. In the 14th chapter, verse 1, these are the words of Jesus himself speaking to his disciples, and he said, do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God. Trust also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, I would have told you. I am going there to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. And finally, from the book of Revelation, which includes this description of what we look forward to in heaven. Now the dwelling of God is with men, and he will live with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. Will you join me in praying now for this time that we can share and for Michael? Let's pray together. Dear God, we thank you for Michael and for his life, God, and for how he meant so much to so many people. God, we're grateful for his life, and we're struggling that he's gone so early. We want this time to be a time to celebrate Michael's life and his impact. And at the same time, we just ask that you would be present here to comfort his family and all who loved him. We look to you for everything that you have promised to bring us in difficult times. We look to the hope that we have in Jesus and the hope of heaven, God, to be a comfort through these difficult days. God, we ask that this time would be a time that can bring glory and honor to you. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. At this time, I'm going to invite Michael's dad, Chris, to come and to share a brief eulogy. We have an opportunity following that to watch a video that the family has put together to share some of the most celebrated moments in Michael's life, and I'm sure many of you will recognize and perhaps have been part of some of those times as well. And then we'll have several folks who've identified that they have something to share with us this afternoon, and we'll hear from them. And if we've got time still for some of us to share additional memories, we'll try to open that up for some sharing at the end as well. So will you join me in welcoming Chris?
Good morning. Michael Christopher Sorenson, my son. To my buddy, I love you more than I can ever explain. When you left, a part of me left with you, and my heart will forever be broken. My heart hurts so much, and I miss you every day. I'm angry with God for taking you so early, but he must have had a really good reason to call you home. One day maybe I'll understand why your time here was cut short, but not sure I'll be able to accept it. I am beyond broken and not sure how to move forward without you physically around to hug and to hold. But I talk to you every morning, and I tell you that I love you, and I hope that you can hear my message. Seeing you all here today makes me happy to know that Michael had an impact on your lives, and he touched each and every one of you in his own special way. And in that special way, with his special love, he will live on in our hearts forever. I ask God every day for the strength to get up and carry on, to continue living, to honor Michael in the same way that he brought life, light, and joy to others. Michael, I need you to be my guardian angel and to be by my side every day, as I know I can't do this alone. I've asked God to make sure that he watches over you and keeps you safe until we are reunited again. May your bright light continue to shine on all of us and fill our hearts with the same love that you shared for everyone that you met. As I said yesterday, there are no goodbyes. This is not the end. This is until we see each other again. We will always love you, Michael. Rest in paradise, my son. I love you.
Out on our own, dreaming in a world that we both know is out of our control. But it hits the fan, we're not alone, 'cause you've got me and you know that I've got you, and I know if the tide takes California, I'm so glad I got to hold ya. And if the sky falls from heaven above, oh, I know I had the best time falling into love. We've been living on a fault line,
So this is it, that's how it ends. I guess there's nothing more romantic than dying with your friends. And I'm not sorry for myself. I wouldn't want to spend a minute loving anybody else. 'Cause you've got me and you know that I've got you and I know. If the tide takes California, I'm so glad I got to hold ya. And if the sky falls from heaven above, oh, I know I had the best time falling into love. We've been living on a fault line, and for a while you were all mine. I spent a lifetime giving you my heart. I swear that I'll be yours forever, till forever falls apart. Till forever falls apart. We never had it from the start. Till death do us part. No, heaven couldn't wait for you. Heaven couldn't wait for you. No, heaven couldn't wait for you. So go on, go We laughed at the darkness, so scared that we lost it. We stood on the ceilings. You showed me love was all you needed. Heaven couldn't wait for you. Heaven couldn't wait for you. Oh, heaven couldn't wait for you. No, heaven couldn't wait for you. No, heaven couldn't wait for you. Heaven couldn't wait for you. No, heaven couldn't wait for you. Oh,
so soon, lonely so soon. How can I keep going? I wanna go to the moon. Don't leave so soon, lonely so soon. How can I keep going? I wanna go to the moon. Don't leave so soon, lonely so soon. How can I keep going?
Here we go, strapping we up. Never forget all the memories. Sitting, I sit by my cup, thinking I should be a better me. Truly, I'm blessed from the start. So much to say in these melodies. Oh, stare at the sky, the moon singing sweet. Oh my God, such a sweet moment. Angels, they say I'm not ever weak. Such a lonely boy. Heaven knows I might never sleep. Trouble in my soul. Hey, I've been praying. Life can be draining. Oh, hey, who relate? Try and keep falling on. I'm ashamed. Hated what I would see, and nobody knows. So I go. How can I get to the moon? How can I get through to the moon? Early afternoon. Take it to the moon. Don't leave so soon. Don't leave so soon. How can I get through? Early afternoon.
We were so bright, standing in the sunlight, never got burned. We were alright, had that easy kind of love, and I let it in for a moment. Felt like we were floating, baby, I swear. We were golden, it was easy, natural as breathing air. And when the sky went dark, you think I would've known before we let it get this far. I should've let you go. Now I gotta crawl out of love. Now I gotta crawl out of love. It's so fucking easy to fall in, but now that this ain't what you promised, and tell me how to crawl out of love. Tell me how to
We stayed up all night, talking to each other, whispers under covers. You told me your life wasn't always easy. I said, I know the feeling. I told you all about the scar on my shoulder, and you told me you're terrified of getting older. We stayed up all night, the first night of a million more. 'Cause I'm gonna love you inside out. I'm gonna love you inside out. Nothing you say is gonna scare me now. Still gonna love you inside out. I'm gonna love you inside out. I'm gonna love you inside out. Nothing you say is gonna scare me now. Still gonna love you inside out. Fun of each other, lost in one another. You held me so tight, and it felt like I was home, just the two of us alone. You said you don't wanna end up like your parents. I said, don't you worry, I'm not gonna let us. We stayed up all night, the first night of a million more. 'Cause I'm gonna love you inside out. I'm gonna love you inside inside out. Nothing you say is gonna scare me now. Still gonna love you inside out. What do you say, babe? 'Cause I wanna know. Oh, can I be there, babe? Through your highs and lows, yeah. When the lights come off and the night is done, everybody's left. Can I be the one? If it's all I do, I'm gonna love you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh yeah, I'm gonna love you, babe. Yeah, I'm gonna love you, babe. I'm gonna love you inside out. Love you inside. Oh, say it's gonna scare me. I love you.
Your eyes give life a new meaning. It's like I found the north lights. I never knew what I needed until I felt your hand holding mine. Yeah, you say I'm your hero, but you are the one that saved me. If I ever lost you, I'd fall to my knees. I can't imagine my life without you. I can't imagine one night without you. If something happened, don't know what I'd do. I can't imagine my life without you. Your eyes give life a new meaning. It's like I found the north lights. Oh, I never knew what I needed until I felt your hand holding mine. Yeah, you say I'm your hero, but you are the one that saved me. If I ever lost you, I'd fall to my knees. I can't imagine my life without you. I can't imagine one night without you. If something happened, don't know what I'd do. I can't imagine my life without you. My life
This right here, tell me why, goes out to everyone that has lost someone that they truly love. Come on, check it out. Seems like yesterday we used to rock the show. I laced the track, you locked the flow. So far from hanging on the block for dough. Notorious, they got to know that life ain't always what it seemed to be. Words can't express what you mean to me. Even though you're gone, we still a team. Through your family, I'll fulfill your dreams. In the future, can't wait to see if you open up the gates for me. Reminisce sometime, the night they took my friend. Try to black it out, but it plays again. When it's real, feeling's hard to conceal. Can't imagine all the pain I feel. Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life after death.
Every move I make, every single day, every time I pray, I'll be missing you. Thinking of the day when you went away. What a life to take, what a bond to break. I'll be missing you.
I used to be so happy, but without you here, I feel so low. I watch you as you left, but I can never seem to let you go. 'Cause once upon a time, you were my everything. It's clear to see that time hasn't changed a thing. It's buried deep inside me, but I feel there's something you should know. I will never forget you. You will always be by my side. From the day that I met you, I knew that I would love you till the day I die. And I will never want much more. And in my heart I will always be sure I will never forget you. And you will always be by my side till the day I die. Till the day I die.
Funny how we both end up here, but everything seems so right. I wonder what would happen if we went back and put up a fight. Cause once upon a time you were my everything. It's clear to see that time hasn't changed a thing. So in this world, do you think you'd ever take you off my mind? Ooh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dream that you dare to, oh why can't I? Well, I see trees of green and red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue, and I see clouds of white, and the brightness of day. I like the dark, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They really say, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more
star. Wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like a lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. The dreams that you dare to, why, oh why can't I?
Chris, I'd like to invite you and Nora back to share with us. And those who are sharing, you may come to this podium. There's a good spot to put notes if you have them, or tissues if you may need them. And you may come and join us on the stage just from either side. There are stairs on both sides. There's some taping over some cords just to be careful of as you come. But those of you that have been asked, come on up, Chris and Nora, and then I know Nicole to share as well, and some others as well.
Me again. Something a little more lighthearted, I guess, here. I'm sure, as you all know, Michael was a bit of a character. We had a special relationship because both of us have a sort of a silly, goofy, stupid sense of humor. We would laugh at the stupidest stuff, and we thought it was the funniest thing. Even though no one else around us thought it was funny, but we did. To go along with that killer smile of his, he had this gut-busting laugh. Make you laugh just by hearing him. He's a special person in how he made you feel when we were around. Michael worked at my office for 8 years. Hard to believe it was that long, but he first started working in the shop and come to realize he didn't really like working in the shop, but he did it anyway. Which told me a little bit about his character, because he still did what was asked of him. I made sure that he was the lowest paid employee, so he would get an understanding of what it meant to work hard for something, to prove himself, hoping that I made the right choice and giving him a life lesson. When I moved him out of the office, or I moved him into the office, he started doing our marketing and a website and proposal development. He got really good at it. He made me proud to know that he could grow into something, and that hard work really did pay off. As you can tell from the video, Michael's love for music was endless. Having music in his life was like having air to breathe, such that he couldn't live without it. He'd go to music festivals, EDC, Coachella, etc. He'd mix and produce his own music with several of his friends, and he would even DJ at local clubs. Michael was a driving force. Music was a driving force in Michael's life, and we'll all remember him singing or dancing to something, somewhere. Michael was really a movie star, a Chino Hills celebrity in his own right. He would always be seen wearing his sunglasses. You could probably tell from the pictures outside, there's probably 3 pictures. Hey, there's one. Without his sunglasses on. Morning, noon, or night, didn't matter. Michael would wear sunglasses everywhere. People would ask him, why are you still wearing your sunglasses at night? But Michael was cool enough to still pull it off. He loved his Camaro. It was his pride and joy. He loved cars in general, but he did love that Camaro. Michael was also known for being a little late. Okay, a lot late. He was late to most everything that he did, but maybe he was on to something. Maybe we just didn't realize. His motto was that on time is when I get there. He loved that, and he lived by that. Maybe he knew something that we didn't know, that maybe taking your time and not rushing to everything was something we should all do from time to time. But what Michael really liked to do was be with his friends. They were his extended family, who is also our extended family. You know, if being with friends could turn into a job, Michael would be the CEO. He was that good at it, and being a good friend is what made him the happiest. You people here, the people he loved, is what made him happy. And as a parent, if your child's happy, then you're happy. So thank you for being in my son's life and for making him happy. So now, Michael, I guess you get to make mixtapes for God while watching the Lakers sitting courtside with your sunglasses on, eating snickerdoodle cookies and flashing that pearly white smile. Your light will shine on forever. Until we see each other again. Love you, buddy.
Hi, everybody. This is really hard for me for two reasons. My baby's not here anymore. And the other reason is I only like to talk to two people in my circle. I don't do good with crowds, but I'm doing this for my baby. We're here to celebrate Michael today. I would like to read something from a project that Michael did in high school 10 years ago. It was a memory book of his life. Yes, class of 2011, it has been 10 years since you graduated from high school. So now, don't you feel old? He titled this the epilogue of his memory book. If I could live my life all over again, I would probably try harder in school and maybe take advantage of some situations, but that is about it, which is why I would not decide to change anything. Why I would not change anything about my life would be for the reason that I am content with my life. I would not change anything about my life because my decisions and everything I have done up until now has made me who I am today. The regrets that I have and the mistakes that I have made have only made me stronger, and I also have learned a lot from the experiences I have faced from them. I am happy with how I am and who I am. I am very proud to call myself Michael Christopher Sorenson. I have a great family that loves and supports me. I also have a great group of friends, which I love to death. All the accomplishments I have achieved throughout my life, I have never thought I would have accomplished. I really do think I am a special person and that I do have an extraordinary life, one people would kill for. I really think I have something special to offer and bring to the world. Before I die, all I want to have done is to make a difference in the world, a good, big difference. I wouldn't change anything about my life because I believe the ideal life, I believe I have the ideal life. From my mom and dad raising me to now, it has been great. I've acquired great basketball skills, a fit athletic body, good-looking face, have amazing friends, and memories. That's Michael. I'm kind of popular, you can say. Drive a nice car, have a nice home. Everything ranging throughout those categories is great, and I'm very blessed and thankful to have a life like I do. I think mostly I owe it to God, because I think He makes everything happen for a reason, and for the most part decides our fate. If I could live my life over again, I would want my life to be a movie where I am the main character and the spotlight is on me. A movie where there is a climax, downfalls, uplifts, realization moments, love, and in the end, everything turns out okay and is a happy ending. One of those movies. This is the epilogue and my final chapter of my senior memory book. It was a lot of work, but in the end, I think it was worth it. An overall great experience to add to my life. It helped me reflect on my life from being born to sitting here writing this right now. It helped me further and brought out things in me I never really thought about until now. Finishing this senior memory book is a great accomplishment, but writing it, revealing things about myself, discovering new ones, and the journey along with it was one of a lifetime. I wouldn't change my life for anything. So he wrote this 10 years ago. Michael was always looking on the brighter side of things. He was content with simple and easy things. He loved to laugh and make people laugh. He says in the epilogue, he was popular, but not in a conceited way. A way that you could see the loving, kind, and funny person he was. That he could make your day happier. He loved his family and friends. His friends were his extended family. I love you from the first time I laid my eyes on you. Your love, kindness, and caring heart made it so easy to love you. I am proud to call you my son. I will try to follow your rule, do it like Mike. You were my angel for 28 years, and now you're an angel in heaven where God needed you to be. I love you forever, and forever you will be in my heart. You said in your epilogue, before you die, all I want to have done is make a difference in the world. A good, big difference. Son, you did that. Rest in peace, my baby. You are my sunshine forever.
Thank you all for coming today to honor my younger brother, Michael. I know Michael would have been so happy to know that all of you are here to honor his life today. Michael was my baby brother and my best friend. Michael meant the world to me. He was the best brother I could have ever asked for, and I am so blessed that he was mine. He had so many qualities I truly admired. He was kind, loving, caring, gentle, selfless, funny, witty, and smart. He had the most genuine soul that was vibrant and full of life. He truly lived every day to the fullest, and it makes me so happy that he did. As Michael's big sister, he would always let me play dress up on him and be my patient when we played doctor. He would never complain. That was Michael, down to earth, positive and always happy. The bond I had with Michael was indescribable. I can't explain in words how special our connection really was. We understood each other in a way only me and him knew. One look at each other and we would bust out laughing. No one ever knew what we were laughing about. We lived in our own little world when we were together. We had the best inside jokes, and to me, he was the funniest person I've ever known. There's no one in this world who can make me laugh as hard as he did. He had the most contagious laugh. I will forever be replaying his laugh in my head. I have to tell you all, that night, Michael passed away. In the middle of the night, I felt like I couldn't breathe, like my body had stopped breathing for a second. Waking up the next day to find out what happened, I knew instantly that was him telling me he was leaving. I know that because that's how strong our connection was. Despite the pain I feel, I also feel so much gratitude. I want to say thank you, Michael, for 28 years of the best love, laughter, and friendship I will ever have in my life. I'm so thankful to have had 28 years with you by my side. You've been my best friend my entire life. You made my life so much better. You brought me so much joy and happiness. We used to argue and fight when we were little kids, but we turned into each other's best friends. You always made me such a proud big sister. Through this loss, you've taught me to never take life for granted. I can't comprehend why God took you so soon and in this way, but I hope one day I can understand. Until then, thank you for sending me all the signs to let me know you are still here with me. I promise you will continue to live through me, and I will honor your memory for the rest of my life. In all these ways and more, Michael made our lives richer and fuller. Now that he is gone, there are feelings of emptiness, pain, confusion, and anger at him leaving us so soon. But if you take a look around, the gift of Michael's life is still here with us. He lives on in our memories and stories, and in what all of us have become because of him. So I encourage you to share today, tomorrow, and then in the years to come, your memories and stories, and to share the pain of this loss. In this way, we will continue to keep the gift of Michael's life alive. I will love you forever, Michael.
Fear of public speaking, so bear with me. Michael, where do I even start? How does one even begin to express how much joy and love you brought to everyone's life, especially mine? Not a day or even a minute goes by where I don't miss that amazing smile or infectious laugh. Every day you woke up with the most positive attitude, and I can't thank you enough for helping me grow as a person and helping me see life through your eyes. You taught me how to be more positive and how to have a better outlook on life when times are hard. You helped me through one of the toughest and scariest times in my nursing career. I was able to get through every shift because I knew that I could come home and talk to you and cry out and let you know how bad my night was, but you would automatically make me feel okay, and that even though it was a bad night for me, I did something good for someone else. You made me feel at peace. You really showed me what true and genuine love looked like. You were the most genuine soul I've ever met, and no one could or will ever possibly fill your shoes. I really had the best time falling in love with my best friend. I will forever cherish our time together, whether it be our movie nights with our kitties, our quarantine Coachella you threw for me because I've never been, and 2020 messed all that up, or all our amazing vacations together, dying of laughter until we were crying, or even just waking up and going to sleep next to you every night. I miss every minute of you, bub, and I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm not sure how I'll manage to live this life without you, but I'm going to try my best because I know you would want me to be the strong mama that you always said I was. I envisioned our whole life together, but God had other plans for you. I needed you to come home sooner than I thought and what any of us would want. I love you with my whole heart, Michael. Thank you for blessing me with the greatest group of friends and a second family. This isn't goodbye, but I'll see you soon. And so to pay tribute to Mike and honor him, we will all wear his favorite glasses and really do it like Mike. So that everyone can put on their glasses. And as he would say, you're welcome.
Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Trevor Morgan, and I am one of Mike's best friends. About 4 years ago, Mike gave a speech at my wedding, and man, did he give a great speech. In the back of my mind, I always looked forward to giving a speech at his wedding one day. Obviously, I never imagined standing here just 4 years later, but when I got to thinking, I realized how much more of an honor it is to be able to stand here right now and celebrate the life of one of the most incredible human beings I've personally ever known. Now, to shed some light on mine and Mike's relationship, I have to go back to when we first met. It was freshman year of high school. My family had just moved across town, and because of this, I now had to go to Chino Hills High School while all of my childhood friends were going to Ayala. As you can imagine, my initial high school experience from a social aspect wasn't great. Shamelessly, I'll admit, the first couple months, I recall either eating lunch alone or among a clique of people who didn't talk to me because they didn't really know who I was. Looking back on it, I don't know what was better. But thankfully, this all changed when I made the basketball team and met Mr. Michael Christopher Sorenson. He was a godsend and was truly the first person at school who took a genuine interest in me and one whom I considered an authentic, close friend. Now, I share all of this because this is the epitome of who Mike was. He truly had a gift for genuinely taking interest in those around him. And from this point, freshman year, our bond only continued to grow stronger. Throughout high school, our parents probably felt like we might as well be conjoined at the hip. We basically did everything together almost all the time, to the point where we even decided to have a combined graduation party our senior year because any other way just didn't seem right. But it didn't stop there. We ended up deciding to go to the University of Arizona together and were roommates in the dorms where we learned how to survive on our own. With the help of our hallmate and third amigo, Dylan, who helped us with laundry and occasionally would vacuum our room because we'd let it get a little too messy for his taste. Thanks, D-Boy. Throughout our college years, mine and Mike's mutual passion for music grew deeper, and we found ourselves falling into music production and DJing at the same time. For years, we collaborated on music and even DJed events together, hoping that one day, maybe we could make it as a DJ duo and travel the world. Post-college, I moved to San Diego, and while we were a little further from each other geographically, our bond remained the same. When we weren't trying to plan the next time we'd see each other, we'd settle for the occasional 2 to 3 hour FaceTime or phone call, where we spend most of the time laughing, catching up, and reminiscing on old memories. During the past few weeks, as I've reflected on these countless memories, I've truly come to realize how lucky I am. I thank the Lord for giving me such an incredible friend that is truly as close as a brother. Some people spend their entire life searching for the friendship Mike and I have, and I am beyond grateful for all the joy he brought me while he was here. Every time him and I were together, we couldn't help but laugh for hours, and I can't thank him enough for the occasional tears we would cry together purely from laughing too hard. He has such an amazing ability to inject joy into every room, and I already miss that immensely. But as I stand before you all, missing him dearly and selfishly wishing he was still here, I have to remind myself of what is true. The reality is, the Lord needed him home, and I know that the moment he walked through heaven's gates, he was thrown a huge welcome party. He has probably already played Kobe one-on-one, and I'm sure he's even had a burger or two from heaven's version of In-N-Out. Or maybe there is an In-N-Out in heaven. I wouldn't be surprised. Given the fact that he was taken so soon, I know Mike has been promoted to a very important heavenly role. Just as we have a purpose on this earth, we also have an eternal purpose in heaven. Those gifts and passions that each and every one of you have been given may not even align with your careers or responsibilities, those are the very things that probably align with your eternal purpose. And as this relates to Mike, there is no doubt in my mind that his eternal purpose has something to do with music, and I can relate with him. I know in eternity, him and I will be able to fulfill our dream of being the world-traveling DJ duo, though at that point, we'll probably be considered the heaven-traveling DJ duo. Now the Bible says, "In my Father's house there are many mansions." And for those of you who don't know, when we go home to heaven, we all get our own mansion, our own literal home, which is why Jesus said in the same context of this verse, "I go to prepare a place for you." Jesus wasn't talking about heaven, which had already been created long before we were. But instead, he was talking about preparing a literal place, a mansion for us to live in and enjoy. And the reality is, I'm sure this is one of the next places Mike was taken, just after he played Kobe one-on-one and got his double-double from heaven's version of In-N-Out. He got a tour of his place, the place the Lord had prepared for him. And I'm confident that my mansion is probably being built close to his. Now, when we look at one's life, how do we measure success? Well, much of life would measure success based upon what is obtained materially. But that's where society has it wrong. True success, according to the kingdom of God, isn't measured by material accomplishments, but by the lives that you impact through love. And this is something that Mike was incredibly good at. The amount of you who are here today, and the countless others that Mike has positively impacted, you are all a testament to this very truth. We will all stand before the Lord someday, and he will reward us for how we lived our lives on earth. And the reality is, when Mike went home and stood before the Lord, he got to see all that he fulfilled for the kingdom of God. Mike got to see the fruit of every act of love he ever displayed on earth. I can hear Jesus saying to him now, "Mike, remember when you helped this person? Let me show you how that impacted their life and brought them closer to me." Or, "Remember when you gave that homeless person money? Let me show you what happened next. Let me show you how I used your act of love as a catalyst to transform their life." For every act of love that we display on this earth, we are rewarded. And love is what Mike constantly exemplified. It's who he was on earth and who he still is in heaven. The reality is, Mike stored up a lot of heavenly rewards and treasures simply by allowing love to lead him. This is how true success is measured. not by obtaining things materially, and not by living a long, prosperous life by society's definition, but by exemplifying love in all things with the time you have been given. And personally, I don't know anyone who did this better than Michael did. This is what it means to be like Mike. And in the time that he was here, he displayed this to so many different people, and many, many times I got to witness it firsthand, which is why I am honored to be able to call him one of my best friends, one who is truly like a brother to me. Years ago, Mike and I came up with this goofy thing we used to do that we called a neck hug. It's where you go in for a hug, but you kind of hug with your neck at the same time. It was just a weird, funny thing we would do when we said bye to each other. And the last time I ever saw Mike in person, we gave each other a hug, and as I was coming out of the hug, Mike said, "Wait, Trev, you're forgetting something." Then I caught on, and we did our little neck hug thing and laughed while we were doing it. And the reality is, one day, when I walk through the gates of heaven, I know Mike will be one of the first people to hug me and probably the only person to give me a neck hug. Now, as badly as I miss him and wish he was still here, the reality is, this time that I'll be without him is a mere blip compared to the eternity that I'll be able to spend with him. And my heart has peace knowing that I will be able to see him again one day. We will laugh again, probably until we cry, as usual, and we will even make music together again. I look forward to those days. But until then, I know he will continue to smile down upon all of us from the balconies of heaven, just as he is right now, watching this very moment. So, Mikey, I love and miss you deeply, my dear friend, till we meet again in eternity. Love you, brother.
Hello, everybody. I was going to keep my glasses on, but I don't know how he sees out of them. They are so dark. I'm Brittany. I had the pleasure of knowing Mike for over a decade and being able to call him my best friend and my family. And I've gone back and forth for days on what I was going to say, because I could sit here and talk about memories for hours. I could talk about that smile and that laugh just like everybody continuously does. But he told me to shut up. The night before last, I had a dream. And in the past year, I've lost multiple people. And they never come to me in dreams. He was the first. And in the dream, it was this exact room. And he was standing right here, behind all of us as we spoke. And he told me that I just needed to let everybody know that he was great and happy, and that no matter what we want as a plan in our life, God's plan is always greater, even when it doesn't make any sense. It's going to be a roller coaster, but the one thing I can tell everybody, so sorry, is that you can get through it. Even when
you feel like you can't get out of bed or catch your breath, your life has to go on because they want it to. They want you to be happy and they want to live through you. And we have to do that together as a family. And that's what he told me to tell you guys. So thank you for letting me share. I feel like I sound crazy. But I love everybody here because Mike's family is my family. And I love you with all my heart, Mike. Thank you for being my best friend and showing me how life should really be lived. And I swear to God, when I'm saying this, he's back here going like this. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go now. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all you guys being here to celebrate the one person that could bring us together in this way. Michael was truly a light in any room he was in. He was one of the most caring, gentle, kind-hearted, funny, and late people I've ever met in my life. I first met Michael in junior high. Initially, I remember seeing him in passing period. You know, kind of taller, and I wondered, like, oh, I wonder if he plays basketball as well. And sure enough, during tryouts, I saw him again, and that's the first time that I befriended him. He was one of the most inviting people you can ever meet. We instantly hit it off at that point. That friendship that started with the base in basketball flourished throughout the years as we continue to go the same path in high school and after graduation. Michael was an extraordinary person because he was just genuine in all facets. He can bring happiness to you. He knew what to say at every moment, even if he did whisper all the time. That was his form of talking, but it was a friendship that flourished into a brotherhood, something much deeper than any regular passing friendship. I consider myself lucky for knowing him, since we shared the same group of friends, that we all had the same connection with him. I know that he's in heaven right now with our hero Kobe, smiling. He has his glasses on, dancing, the whole ordeal. But I know one thing is true. He's smiling down on all of us because he loves us, and I know that, and he knows that we love him back. Michael was for myself, for a better amount of my entire life. I would say about 15 years. But I know that in that short time span, he gave me a lifelong worth of memories, experiences, and love that you just don't find any other day. He was truly a unique individual, like many people here have already expressed. Music really drove him. It just opened up his heart. And I just, miss him very dearly. To exemplify sometimes when he would be late, I remember there was one time in high school, and we were supposed to go to a football game, our football game on Fridays. And I had come to an agreement with him that I would pick him up before we went. So I got there to the residence at 7 p.m., the agreed time. A couple minutes go by, about 10. So, oh, okay, Michael, when are you going to be out? Okay, cool. 30 minutes go by. Like, okay, Mike, I'm probably going to go to the gas station real quick, get a drink, come back. I was able to go through the whole Carter 4 album, waiting until he stepped out that door at 8:05. So he's like Chris mentioned, he was a character. He was a character. His sense of humor was one of one. We would have some intimate moments where we would just look at each other, not say a word, but we knew exactly what we were thinking and laughing about and trying our hardest not to just crack up. Michael was a special individual. He filled my heart with joy. He filled all of his friends, his family, everyone that knew him with joy. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. Nora, Chris, Nicole, the whole Sorenson family, just so you know, you are loved by everyone in this room. We all love you. We are by your side. We loved your son. He was a brother to me. I consider you guys as well family. I know. And to Michael, I know you're looking down at us right now, happy and kind of giving a little smirk that you would do. You love being in the spotlight, so the fact that we're here gathered for you would put a smile on your face. But I know you're happy, you're at rest. I think about you every day. I miss you a considerable amount. 5 minutes is not enough for any of us to fully express how much this man really meant for us. But we all know that one thing is true. Michael was an angel, and now he really is. Thank you for, I'd like to thank God for allowing me to meet such a special individual, as he now allowed him through the gates of heaven. And to Michael, since you are looking down at us listening to this right now, I just want to say, I love you, man. I've always loved you. I will always miss you, and I will do everything to honor you going forward. And please hug my mother for me. Thank you, guys.
There's a lot of people here today. That's really cool. As you can see, I got a little crew behind me. We also play basketball with Mike. It was Nick's idea to stand up here together as a team again, and I really like the idea. It's funny, I've actually been told a lot I'm not the best at communicating my feelings. I think I've given one serious speech once in my life. That was actually for Warren's wedding. It was an electric speech. It was a showstopper of a performance. But to be honest, that moment, it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to me for a very long time. This means a lot to me. This means everything. So I got the call Labor Day, Monday morning, as I'm boarding my flight back to Texas. Warren called me. Thank you for calling me, Warren. I'm glad I got to hear from you. How do you even process information like that? I couldn't believe it. I refused to believe it. It wasn't until my little sister Casey called me that reality of the situation started to become real. I couldn't take it. I hung up on her almost immediately. I ditched my flight, grabbed my bags, told Warren to send me his address. I thought he was home. I thought he was at his house. He dropped a pin in the middle of the road. That really broke my heart. I didn't cry yet. I couldn't. I had a job to do. I had to be there. I just kept telling myself over and over again in my head, just trying to stay sane, just get there, just get there. I don't know what to do, just get there. I took an Uber, felt like the longest drive of my life. Just thinking, reflecting, preparing myself. When I arrived, it never really occurred to me if that was like the right or wrong thing to do. If that's like rude or intrusive for someone like me to show up. Mike's my brother. The Sorensons are my family. The Sorensons are our family. We'd do anything for Mike, even if it's just being there. And to be honest, when I showed up Monday, just the support, truly beautiful in the face of a tragedy. I was so proud of my friends, so proud of my family. It makes it better knowing the fact that I wasn't alone. Casey told me something that Monday when I got home I'll never forget. I couldn't say a word. She told me blood is thicker than water, but the true expression is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. What that means is the bonds we choose by choice are just as important, if not more precious, than the bonds we are bound to by blood. The people we spend our time with, the people we cherish our time with, people we make time for. That's your family. This is our family. Warren, Wesley, Andreas, Mark, truly incredible friends, brave young men. I'm just so fortunate that we got to see our best friend Warren get married to the love of his life. It's been yet a beautiful wedding. I'm so glad we got to see his best friend Trevor get married. Can't wait to go back to Kauai, to be honest. It's funny, I've been kind of thinking a lot. I mean, Mike's not the type of person we could just let go of so easily. Not the type of person we just be forgotten, forever be a part of our lives, forever. That part will never change. It's funny, I mean, even if I ever get married, things will stay the same. He'll be a groomsman. There'll be some space standing next to me. Be a seat at reception. And to be honest, I plan on getting married at least twice. We're gonna have so much fun. And to Mr. Sorenson, Miss Sorenson, if it's all right with you, I would like to still call you Mom. Nicole, Steph, your son, your brother, your best friend. He was truly loved. He meant so much to so many people. That's a testament to you as a family. Be proud of that young man. Remember him fondly. And rest assured, Michael knew he was loved. To the people that reached out, tried to comfort me, I'm so sorry if I never got back to you. You're appreciated. The people who just sat in silence with me, I'm sorry I couldn't find the words. You're appreciated. And to everybody gathered here today, from the bottom of my heart, this means so much to me. You're appreciated. I'm really gonna miss Michael. I'm gonna miss him so much. Every day. Thank you everybody for being here today. Thank you for hearing what I have to say. Michael, see you again. This is blank.
Hello, everyone. First and foremost, please bear with me. I didn't write a formal speech. I wanted to do this from the heart, so please bear with me as I go through this. I'm not used to speaking candidly, so first and foremost, my name is Warren Forbes, for those who don't know. I've been really close friends with Mike since middle school when we met through basketball, playing in the trenches on the blacktops at Townsend, destroying our knees back then. That's where I first met Mike, and then I had the privilege of him joining our travel team here with the Bruins, where that's where we really started to become a lot closer friends. That's where we cracked each other's top friends on MySpace, so that's how you know that's when it started to get real there. And yeah, that's a lot of my first experiences with Mike were through athletics and through basketball. We played together, obviously, with our travel team and through high school, up until a time when our senior year on varsity, and Mike was the captain of our team. He was somebody that everyone looked up to because of, one, the person he was, the type of athlete he was. I think that's something that people forget because, as Ms. Sorenson said, it's been about 10 years since we played here in high school. It's a long time ago, but Mike was such a competitor, and he had such a tenacity when he played basketball. He was always flying all over the court and taking charges, jumping up for rebounds. And I feel like for whatever reason, he was always like on the floor. Like he was always following, whether it was he was getting fouled and falling or diving on the floor. He was always on the floor for something. And I just remember some of the guys on the benches joking. Every time we'd hear like the hardwood floors screech and get like the strawberry on your knees, we'd go, oh, there goes Mike again. Even without looking, we already knew it was probably Mike falling on the floor and just being a hustle player. That's just the kind of a guy that he was. But what was crazy about that, and to me, for as tenacious as he was on the basketball court, outside he was the exact opposite. He was such a kind and gentle person to everybody that he met. And towards the end of our senior year, that's when we really started to become like really best friends. So Mike, myself, and Dalen and Andres, we formed our little friend group, called ourselves the Quad Chicos. And we did everything together. We used to go out to eat. We used to go to the movies all the time, and we would go to like the parties. And wherever we went, Mike was always the life of the party. Even though he, like everyone has said, he would arrive about 2-3 hours late, he was still, when he got there, it didn't matter because he had this energy around him, and he was just always such a bright personality and a contagious laugh and a smile that just brightened up the room where he was at. And that was him. In our friend group, especially with mostly myself and Dalen and the rest, we tend to argue quite a bit and debate about sports and music a lot, and have a little bit of a toxic masculinity arguments in our chat. But Mike was never that person. He would always be the Zen one, the one that always tried to diffuse every little argument that we had, try and change the subject, and just he was so over it. But he put up with us though, and that's the kind of friend that he was. He was just the perfect friend that a guy can have, and he definitely balanced out our friend group there. And that's part of the reason why I was fortunate enough to stay friends with him for so long. He was one of my best friends. And even after high school, throughout our times in college and after college, we stayed very close. And that's when we started to become like family, like a brother to me. I consider Mike one of my brothers. We went on family trips together all the time, and when camping, he was my spike ball partner. We were the defending champions in spike ball. I had the blessing and the honor of having him as a groomsman in my wedding. We went on several Vegas trips for March Madness trips and had great times. And it's been such a blessing having such a perfect friend like Mike. And I wanted to close with one story that I think really embodies the type of person that Mike is. It was a couple years ago, one of our Vegas March Madness trips, and this time it was just sort of my fan group, my brother and myself and Mike. And so, I mean, we go to Vegas with our families, and we just go there for the basketball tournament. None of us are really big gamblers as far as myself, Mike, or Wesley. So we just put in a group pool of like about $40 each, and we picked our teams for the weekend, and then we just waited hopefully to come up, but usually we don't. But either way, we put our money in, and at the end when we pulled out our quote-unquote winnings, so we put in $40 each, and then when I pulled everything out and dispersed it, we got back $44. So basically, we only, after a full weekend, we net a gain of $4. And the funny thing about that is, for just winning $4, I've never seen somebody so ecstatic and just so happy and enjoyed that we won something. And you know what? That's just the kind of person that Mike was. He enjoyed the simple things in life, and he just loved to live life and make the most of our opportunities. So going forward, I think that is probably the best way to honor his legacy. We're all here. If we're here today, he's probably touched us all in a positive way at some point. And to carry on his legacy, beyond obviously to like social media posts, because we took so many pictures with him and carrying it on that way, I think the more important thing is to carry on the way that he treated others and his friends and everyone around him, with laughter and just being kind to everyone. I think that in today's society, it's so easy to get caught up in the negativity that the world may bring, and either at work or in bad relationships or in bad politics, whatever it may be. It's easy to get caught up in the negative aspects of life. But that's not what Mike was about. Mike was always such a positive person. I think that it's important for us to embody that with our friendships with each other, with people we don't know. Be a better person to one another, because that's what Mike would do. Make new friends. He would always go into the room and make new friends wherever he went. Some random people that I've never seen before, Mike would just become friends with them and have a full-blown conversation. And you know what? I think that's what we need to embody, and to make the world a better place and carry on Mike's legacy. I think that's what we should focus on, is trying to be like Mike. Just wanted to finish, Mr. and Mrs. Sorenson, thank you guys for allowing Mike to be in my life. Like Andres said, anything you guys need, I'll always be here for you guys and everyone in here as well. It's been a blessing, and same with Steph and Nicole. Yes, I'm always here for you guys as well. Mike was like a brother to me, and it's a blessing that I'm here today. And thank you guys for allowing me to speak. Chico, Chico Zeus, love you, man. Until we meet again, brother. Thank you.
I just want to take a moment and thank each of you who shared and encouraged one another with such special memories and the fun and the life that was Michael. We want to open now for just a brief time of additional sharing. Perhaps you have a special memory of Michael, or there's a characteristic that stands out, or a story that you were reminded of as you sat and thought about his life and his impact on your lives today. And so we just want to open that up for a time, and you're welcome to come just to this microphone here. I'd ask that you would be brief, only just to allow maybe a number of voices to share and to add to this celebration, these memories of Michael. So I'm going to go be seated and just allow a few moments of time. Feel free to come on up if you feel something on your heart, just a tug to share today. We would love to give you that opportunity to do so. If you're taller than me, which most of you are, go ahead and just adjust this microphone as you come on up, okay? Thanks.
For some of you that don't know me, my name is Terry Morgan. I'm Trevor Morgan's mom. And I'm going to tell you right now that Michael was like my fourth son. He, during high school especially, so blessed that that boy became such good friends with Trevor, who was a total loner at Chino Hills High School for the first 2 months, and the guilt that a parent feels moving across town, and there's one street, and you all have to go to Ayala, or you all have to go to Chino Hills High School. It ended up being a blessing, because then he had that many more friends, but Mike being his first friend, and that boy is just embedded in my heart as a son because he basically lived at our house so much that I would invite Nora and Chris over so that they could watch the boys just be so weird and all the stuff, the dance, that dance when all you guys remember all the Bruins, and you guys I was there filming you guys, and they were doing the Just Dance, when that first came out, and I was laughing at them, and a couple of funny stories. So Mike was at our house so much during high school that he had his own food, and he had his own orange Gatorade that said Big Mike on it. And one time, he put it outside in the refrigerator outside, and he expected to go back there and see it. And then suddenly, one of Trevor's other friends, Braden, who, you guys know Braden Crockett, Mike didn't know Braden, because Braden went to Ayala, so Mike just knew the Chino Hills people. So suddenly, Mike goes outside to open the refrigerator to get his orange Gatorade that says Big Mike on it, and he's all upset. He's like, what? Where? Wait. Ugh. And then Trevor goes, oh yeah, Braden called me. He came and swam in our pool, and he opened the refrigerator, and I think he drank your Gatorade. And Mike was so mad. Who's this Braden? Like, what? I mean, you have a friend that just comes over and, like, it said my name on it. Like, he was so mad about it. And it was just those kind of things that I just had so many great conversations, and even about college. I mean, when Trevor was going to go to University of Arizona, and I was like, Mike, what do you want to do? And he's like, I wish I had studied harder. I just wish. And I was like, well, do you want to go? And he goes, well, yeah, but I can't. I mean, I don't think I have the grades. I go, we're going to sit here and we're going to write you a great essay. And you're going to go to the University of Arizona with Trevor. And sure enough, Nora comes. She's like, you got in. I'm like, yay. So it was just like, he was just kind of up for anything. He's like, okay, Mike. Like, and his great smile. And he was just such a brother to my little ones. It's like, Tanner is now 6 foot, but I mean, when Mike knew him, he was this little, and he was tiny, and Mike was just such a great brother to my boys, Trevor, Tristan, and Tanner, and I am so thankful to you, honey. I love you, and I will see you. You don't want to really say soon, because you're like, kind of want to be here a little longer, but eternity's forever, so we'll get to be together. And yeah, hug my mom for me too.
Hi, Nora. I feel like I need to put my glasses on. That's part of the skit. All right. I'm Blake. I'm Blake Kaplan. I actually did not intend on speaking whatsoever when I usually like to speak. But I just felt like Mike would want some stories about himself to be shared, some laughter. So I think brunch is the term we should all talk about. I got to know Mike a little bit throughout high school. I went to Ayala. I lived in Volano by Trevor. We were just acquaintances, played on baseball teams. But he would always be with Mike, so I always got to hang out with Trevor and Mike whenever we were in Volano. To find out that we were all going to University of Arizona, I was super pumped because I wasn't as close with Trevor. I wasn't as close with Mike, Reed, Kyle, and Demi. But I was just excited to be able to bond and have a new friendship with a bunch of people. I was also a floater, so I like to meet a bunch of new people. But right off the bat, I moved into the worst dorm possible. And Trevor and Mike moved into the best. I lived in a Motel 4. It was bad. But they lived in the Ritz-Carlton, and I just would want to hang out with them all the time. And Mike and I decided to buddy up on one of our classes together. And I'll tell you, Mike didn't like school, not whatsoever. But I was very hopeful that we could partner up because we had so many intense classes. And we decided to take, I think, astrology. Total mess up, hardest class I've ever taken. Our teacher was from like Harvard, had a master's at Yale. It was a scene. But Mike and I decided to partner up. Well, after the first time I did all the homework, gave Mike the answers, it was his turn to reciprocate, and Trevor and I had our MIS exam. So let's just say Mike didn't get the work done, but it was just a funny moment for me to appreciate Mike and like the way he handles things. It was very calm and subtle. It's like, I didn't do it, but we can do it together. So, it was a lot. It was a lot for me to just to get to know who Mike was. And then over time, as Mike decided to go back home, I obviously grew a very close bond with pretty much all those friends I discussed, but especially Trevor. And Mike was really important to Trevor, which was really important to me, and obviously really important to our whole friend group. So I wanted to get to know Mike. And the way you get to know Mike is over brunch. So I did experience the first time not telling him it was brunch. Mike showed up about 45 minutes late, into my car, but I didn't know that was Mike. I thought Mike was punctual, whatnot. So I came to the door twice, hey, Mike, is everything good? It's like, I'm just changing. We'll get there. Mike eventually made it, to find out the next time when it was my birthday, Mike was the first person at my birthday, and it was brunch. So the next time it was my birthday, we saw each other a lot, but the next time, it was brunch, and it was a surprise birthday party for me. And honestly, Trevor couldn't make it. Some of our other friend groups could, and I had no expectation of this surprise party with Mike showing up. Mike and my little brother were late to my surprise party because I showed up, and I was expecting my little brother to be there to then see Mike and my little brother pull up. And I was confused because it's it's brunch time, but Mike's not on time. But Mike's with my little brother, to find out that a cop pulled my little brother over, and Mike saw Bradley when he was driving over to my surprise party and actually helped Bradley out with his ticket with the cop. And Mike is the one to speak a lot of, like you said, he's a whisperer. But it just showed me when I was resonating on these last couple of weeks, just a human that Mike was the person that would take the time, whether he knew you or not, just to want to get to know you better. And I've spent a lot of time trying to, be there for my friends through this time. But, I've been in this corner before, and I can tell you guys are all handling like rock stars. And I couldn't be more thankful just to have known your son, because every time I'm over here and I'm balling, and I've probably used 2 tissue packs right now, but I just look at his smile. I just see how beautiful and kind-hearted, and I just keep thinking, I'm angry, but deep down I know there's such an angel covering us. So, Mike, I hope you can give my dad a hug, and I hope you're giving Terry's mother a hug. But deep down, I just want to say I love you, man, and thank you for the impact you've had on all of us. I hope to see plenty of signs from you. Love you, buddy.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah, formerly Oros, now Goches. It's just so crazy to be here. Honestly, I haven't seen Michael in a really long time, since high school. But I've known Michael for many years, and when I was explaining to my husband who Michael was, he was just somebody who always brought a smile to your face, which is like something that we've all been saying this whole time. Some memories that I have from Michael is trick-or-treating in his neighborhood because they always had the best candy. And just laughing. Like, all I really remember from him is just laughing and never being sad. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody being mad at Michael or having something against Michael. He was just somebody who was always loved and respected. And yeah, thank you. Sorry. But yeah, and, I never thought we'd all be here today because of this. But yeah, that's just one small memory that I have of Michael. And yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name's Celeste Cordero. Sorry, I thought I was going to be done crying by the time I got up here. I got to know Mike for a while when I was a freshman in high school and he was a senior in high school. It was my first memory of him. I remember I ran into him at Ayala in the Chino Hills football game, and I just saw a bunch of people all around, these group of guys. And I was like, who the heck are these guys? Like, why are these guys all right here? I don't know them. They don't come here to Ayala because I was a freshman at Ayala, and he was a senior at Chino Hills. Next thing you know, I see the Cuachicos. That's what they would call them. And I was like, who are the Cuachicos? And then you just see these 4 big guys all talking, think they're all, you know, fancy-dancy with all these girls around. And I was like, oh, so those are the Cuachicos. So ever since then, that's all I remember is the Cuachicos, the Cuachicos. And years from now, later on, I got to start dating Wesley, and I got to meet Mike. And the first time I met Mike again, years later, was when we went camping. And that's how I knew he came from a good family, because it was my first family trip. And he was so kind. He was so kind and welcoming. And I haven't been welcomed like that in a really long time, so it was nice. But I want to talk about these past few weeks since his passing. It made me realize the friendship that he has from his friends and with Steph and Steph's friends. It's something I can't even describe. And I remember we all went to round 1 last week. Sorry, I can't see. I don't know how he sees in these. Like, I really don't. But I saw how amazing friends he has. I kept telling Yasmina, and I kept telling the Ondachi family, man, Mike was lucky. Like, he's so lucky. And even though everyone was hurting at round 1, and I could see it in everyone's face, because it just didn't feel the same. I could tell his presence wasn't there, but everyone, you could just tell the love for each other. And I don't even know, I can't even explain it about round 1, but I just kept looking at everyone's face, and I just saw everyone holding each other, and I knew that he was lucky. So he lived a really good life. So you have a really amazing son. And I could go on. Every time I saw Mike, he would always be like, let's go, Celeste, let's go, because he knew I would always be dancing with him, and especially with Brittany, too. And I remember one time at Yasmina's bridal shower, you know, after everyone had a few drinks, and the one thing I will remember with Mike, him and I will always have deep conversations, even though I had no idea what he would say sometimes, because I would look at him and I'll be like, because sometimes he kind of slurs his words sometimes, so I'm just like, okay, yeah, Mike, yeah. He's like, but you know what I mean, right? And I was like, yeah. But like I said, these past few weeks, I realized he has such amazing friends, and I'm blessed to have these people in my life too. And just receiving that phone call on Monday morning, it was really devastating. I couldn't go to sleep. I've been having a hard time sleeping. but I know that he wants us to be happy. And I need to learn how to be more simple because I like to do everything in a rush, but I'm trying to learn that now. And I just want to say that, Steph, we have your back and we're here for you. Remember that, okay? And Mr. and Mrs. Sorenson, Nicole, we're here for you guys. And I know you guys are going through a rough time, but even though it's hard to explain and hard to comfort because we don't know what the right words to say to you guys, I'm really bad at comforting people when they're crying, but just know, like, me being there, I just want you guys to know I'm there for you guys.
We didn't want to come up alone. My name is Yasmina. I'm Warren's wife. I got the privilege of knowing Mike thanks to him, and I think the first thing I remembered about him was all of Warren's friends, when I first met them, gave me a lecture, basically. Andres gave me like 10 rules, and I think he only gave me 5, actually, but there's 10 rules I need to know about dating Warren, apparently. Kyle literally just looked at me and was like, "I'll kill you." And Mike literally just gave me a hug and was like, "Welcome." And I think after that, I think I was talking to him most of the night because Warren had went off to talk to his friends, and Michael and I were talking like if I've known him for years, and he made me feel so welcome. And like they've been saying, I was blessed to have him at our wedding, and I actually have a video of him and Miss Nora dancing on the dance floor, and he was pretending to take photos of her, and I love that video because you guys both seem just genuinely so happy and with each other. And I also keep replaying in my head him saying, "Hey, you don't say that." Like, anytime we would say something, and he'd be like, "No, you don't say that." But I'll keep this short. He really did bring a very big family into all of our lives, our friends. I've never felt a more strong and connect, like a vibe. And we're no longer friends, this is family. So we're family, you're our family. Thank you for everything. And like she said, if you guys need anything, all of you, Steph, even the friends, call me any time of the day. We'll be there for you. And I'm sorry this is what had to happen, but we love you guys very, very much. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name's Alyssa. I just wanted to be someone that spoke that was not necessarily in Michael's family or his core friend group. His sister Nicole is one of my best friends, and I love the Sorenson family so much, and Steph and Anthony. Excuse me. The best thing about the Sorensons is like their hospitality and their welcomeness, and like that's where Michael got it from. And everyone knows summers at their house are the best for swimming, dancing, flip cup, just fun times. And you know, all of us would be hanging out, all the girls, and Michael would like run out and then start dancing and like join the group like he was meant to be there. And it was never awkward. It was just so fun. And you know, I have a little sister, and she was always annoying to me, but Michael was just like such a bright light, and he made us like even more excited to, you know, just partake in all the fun. My husband and I moved to Boston for 3.5 years, so we didn't see them as much, but when we moved back, he DM'd me and he's like, "It's good to have you back, fam." And just having my best friend's little brother reach out to me, it just made me feel like just so good and warm inside, and that was just who Michael was. And then when Steph and Michael moved into their apartment together, they reached out to me just to give them something for their space. And Steph came inside. I was only expecting to see her, and then Michael comes. And it was just, he was like, "Oh, hi, here I am." Like, you know, just such warmth every time he was around. And then about I would say a little bit over a month before he passed, we ran into you guys at Roscoe's, and, you know, my friend Bianca and my husband and I were just sitting down, like, getting drinks, and they were brunching. And I, like, give him a quick hug, and then he goes over, pulls out a chair, and sits next to us, and we have what I thought would be only a few minutes of a conversation, but he was there for a while, and we just caught up and talked about the Sorensons and how you guys are, and I just love that the last time I saw him, we got a chat, and he was smiling and so happy, and I'm always going to take that sweetness of him with me. So I just thank you for giving us all a great friend. We love him. Thank you.
I know that for some of you, you may not have had a chance to share or may not have felt like you had all the words or the space for that right at this time. I would just love to encourage you on behalf of the family. They've got these little memory cards available on the tables in the lobby. And if you would just take one of those cards today if you haven't had a chance already, and just take some time when you have a chance to share a memory or write a note regarding Michael and the impact that he's had on your life. I know that would be so meaningful for the family to be able to have and share with you as well. So if you didn't have a chance to share out loud, please take a time to take one of these cards and be able to share that with them either later at the reception or when you have a chance. I just have the privilege of thanking each of you on behalf of the Sorensons today for coming out to celebrate the life of Michael. The family wanted me to mention that due to COVID concerns, they will not be having a procession or a receiving line after this celebration. However, they would like to invite you all to join them at a reception at the Chino Hills Community Center starting at 3 o'clock this afternoon. They're asking for your cooperation and your understanding because there is limited space at the community center. So at times, they've been advised that people may need to cycle through and possibly spend some time out on the patio to allow others to come in and get something to eat or to drink. They would love to be able to see you all and to continue this celebration of friends and family this afternoon. And so they just thank you in advance for your generous and kindness through that reception as well. Michael is a special person. He loved all of you, and he was loved by you as well. We know that he's happy today being able to see the memories and to hear the memories that so many of you have shared. So we want to thank you all, and as a final reminder today, just encourage you to do it like Mike is what his family wanted to remind you. Let me pray a blessing as we leave. Dear God, I thank you for this time today. Thank you for the many family and friends who were like family, friends who were brothers, Lord, extra family that you blessed Michael with. God, thank you for the ways that Michael blessed others with his life as well. God, we thank you for the life that he lived and the joy that he brought. And we just ask that his memories would continue to just be a blessing, a light, a reminder of his goodness and of your goodness and your faithfulness in our lives. God, we love you and we worship your son Jesus as our eternal hope, God. And we just give you all the glory and praise, even in a hard moment like this one. God, we pray that you would just bless Michael's family with your extra sense of presence and comfort in the days ahead. We ask this humbly in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Please enjoy the rest of your day, and the family hopes to see you at the reception at 3.